Hello.
And welcome back to our
still out of frame.
podcast. Come this way then. We haven't done one of these in a long time. Dude, don't stop adjusting that continuously.
There we go. Perfect.
I feel like I'm kind of out of frame.
No, you're not.
The side of my head was being cut off. Dude, don't.
The side of my head is being cut off. Ow. Look, we can get this just right.
No, dude, we're recording. Stop it. No, just...
I can't put my arm here. Move your arm.
Okay. So, tell our wonderful viewers what we're talking about today.
I've forgotten.
Alright, well, I guess I get to pick the topic then. I'm going to go on an angry feminist rant then.
Okay, we can do that. Oh, wait, we were going to do alignment. That's right.
Yes, we were.
Well, is it going to be a long, angry feminist rant?
Yes. If you want to talk about alignment, then you can start talking about alignment. What? I'm sure I will feel inclined to join it at some point.
Well, where do I begin? Of course, we're talking about the D&D alignment system. And
yes.
Just how, like, limiting it is.
Okay, well, let's start talking about, like, I guess... Alright, let's not assume that all of our readers know what the D&D alignment system is. So let's start by explaining it.
So, every character in D&D, like player character, NPC, and even animal...
And you can extend it to further things. Some nations have alignment, some items have alignments. No, it's a useful exercise in the brain.
What, nations having alignments?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, different government types can have different alignments. You know, you have to admit certain government types are more prone to, like, fostering a more strictly controlled society than others.
Yeah, but I would say that alignments for governments should be strictly along the law scale.
No, you can have corrupt or uncorrupt governments.
Yeah, corrupt or more chaotic.
No, that is not true.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But if any of our viewers don't know the alignment system, by the way, this is Scrumpy Hard Cider.
Let me have some.
No, you already... Alright, that's all that you're having. So this is the Orchard Gate Gold. It's unfiltered and organic. It's kind of tasty. So the alignment system in Dungeons and Dragons is that you have like two axes, and each axis has 3 points on it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the axes, the points are good, neutral, and evil, and the other one is lawful, neutral, and chaotic. And your alignment can fall anywhere in the various quadrants between these axes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, and religions. Well...
Oh yeah, religions make sense.
I mean... If you're having a religion of a single god like you usually do in Dungeons & Dragons, then it makes a ton of sense because the religion usually has an alignment at least similar to that god. But the way I was thinking of, because I figured a great way to start this out would be talking about our personal alignments.
I don't know what my personal alignment would be.
And I've always said that I am a blend between chaotic good and lawful evil.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that I kind of don't necessarily follow society's rules with everything.
Uh-huh.
That's the chaotic thing, and we're going to get into how various perceptions of alignment screw with that later.
Yeah.
The lawful or chaotic alignment is
can be kind of screwed up.
Right, but it's at least my perception of it is how well do you respond to external order.
Mm-hmm.
that I very much hate other people trying to make rules for me to follow, which I think would classify me as chaotic. But the and then good versus evil is like how much you care if something is beneficial versus if it's self-serving, I guess, is how it usually goes. And so, me defining myself as chaotic good has to do with the fact that I frequently see society's strictures as harmful, and therefore I resist them.
Mm-hmm.
The lawful evil part comes in because I do follow some of society's rules. Not because I think that following rules is the right thing to do, or because I believe that they're beneficial to people, which is where those beliefs would shade you more into lawful neutral or lawful good.
I think lawful neutral is following rules for the sake of it.
Yes. That you follow rules because it is the right thing to do to follow the rules, regardless of whether the rules are beneficial or not. Whereas lawful evil is more you obey rules out of fear or because they benefit you, which would definitely describe me to a certain extent. But that's sort of the lesser portion of my personality. I say that I am most strongly chaotic good, and one of the reasons for that is I feel that if we're going to talk about religions, that paganism is kind of like the quintessential chaotic good religion.
Wicca definitely is. Paganism is chaotic, I would say. Wicca is chaotic good.
Okay, well, if you the reed is the ultimate statement of chaotic good, I think.
The reed?
Do what you will as long as it harms none.
Yeah, isn't that specifically Wicca? It's not paganism, it's specifically Wicca.
Certainly there are segments of paganism that don't follow it, but I wouldn't say that it's exclusive to Wicca.
Well, Wicca is the one where it came from, right?
Yeah, well, it was popularized by Gerald Gardner, but other belief systems have similar.
Yeah, like Christianity.
No, Christianity is different. Because Christianity, it does say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But that's not the same thing. That is definitely a good statement, but I would say more that is neutral good, maybe. It doesn't say anything about freedom or lack thereof. Because literally, in paganism, or at least if you follow the reed, the thing is, if it does no harm, it is not a sin.
Mm-hmm.
That sin is only in doing harm. So, for example, I don't want to go have sex with random strangers. However, if somebody else wishes to do that, and they do that in a way
that doesn't harm anyone,
right? If they're
it doesn't hurt the other person's feelings,
they're not cheating on anyone. They make sure that the people they sleep with are not cheating on anyone. They make sure that no diseases are being spread. They make sure that their intent is clear up front, so that the other person doesn't get the wrong idea and get hurt. Provided they're doing all of that to make sure that harm is not being done, then
it's okay.
Yeah, that I don't think that is a immoral action, even though it's something that I personally wouldn't want to do. And that to me is chaotic good, that you don't the only stricture you would put on someone is whether or not their actions are doing harm to people, and other morals are not a factor. And then you can nitpick about what is harm and what is not, which is why both in D&D we see that everybody who's chaotic good is not the same. Like, everybody still has their own moral compass within chaotic good.
Yeah.
That they differentiate on what is, an acceptable action. Just like there's tons of debates in paganism of, does this act cause enough harm to be considered immoral? Is there a way, a different action that causes less harm that could be taken instead? So it's an important point that we're getting here is that alignment is not a monolithic thing. Like, there are variations within alignment, which is kind of where we're going with this. But
yeah.
I don't know. So you have no idea what your alignment would be?
Well, I would say, and this is something I've always had a problem with people defining their own alignments, especially when those alignments are good. It's just like, I can't say that I'm good. I can say what I strive to be, which is neutral good. I guess.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say if you were like, I don't know, I would have been. I would peg you as neutral good.
Though I would say neutral good with leanings towards lawful good.
Yeah, I mean...
Maybe even lawful neutral at times. Because I still think order is better than chaos.
Yeah, but you are not, like... I would have to say you are definitely not lawful neutral because you care about people's feelings way too much. And just for full disclosure, because I, have disclosed everything on YouTube by this point, my ex-husband proudly identified himself as lawful neutral.
Yeah, but anybody who, does that is an asshole.
Okay, but...
You are all assholes, lawful neutral. Stop
No. That's not what you said. You didn't say that if you're lawful neutral, you're an asshole. You said if you self-identify as lawful
Okay,
neutral.
yeah. Just be neutral, mate. Just be neutral.
But, I mean, and that's why I would peg you as neutral good is because, I mean, you certainly don't always follow everything that society says.
No, if it's harmful, then it should be thrown out. But I still think, in general, rules and order are much better to chaos.
Right, you are much less... upset or offended than I am at the idea of someone else imposing their will on you.
No, if I agree on it, then fine.
Well,
so long as I agree on it, that's the thing.
Well, but that's the thing, is that if you agree on it, they're not really imposing their will on you.
Well, yeah, okay.
But yeah, so we've been kind of, this was...
There goes my hat. Go pick it up.
Are you talking to the kitty?
No, you.
No, you could pick it up just as easily as I could. Yeah, actually, it's directly behind you. There's no way I could possibly reach it.
No, get up and get it.
I'm not sure what alignment Fortis is expressing right now. The
Chaotic neutral, second edition chaotic neutral.
I think he's expressing the alignment of annoying. But
true annoying.
Yes, we've been kind of dancing around to a certain extent. So what we really want to get at in the meat of this, which has to do with, as we were saying, there's many different ways that a given alignment can manifest, and that some people's interpretations of these alignments we find really annoying and restrictive.
Yeah, restrictive is the worst part.
They
should be used as a blanket statement for a complex.
I don't remember if it was the Players Handbook or the Dungeon Master's Guide for 2nd edition. Maybe it was both of them.
Probably both.
But its favorite statement that it kept saying over and over again is, alignment is a tool, it is not a straitjacket.
Yeah. No, I think I remember that from the Players Handbook.
But then it had, some of the most straitjackety versions of alignment I've ever seen.
Especially true neutral. Oh my god, that always pissed me off.
Okay, so let's talk about true neutral, because I do think this is the most egregious.
It is the most egregious, because it's just this makes no fucking sense. What they're doing is they're trying to make all of these heroic or extraordinary. Mm-hmm. When maybe a player doesn't want to play an extraordinary character.
Okay, so you kind of skipped over a major point.
Yeah,
there.
sorry.
The way that alignment was defined in 2nd edition was this whole thing about people believe that there was this struggle of forces in the universe between good and evil and law and chaos. And that, like, you know, if the forces got too far out of balance, the universe would be destroyed and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so here was the thing that, like, you know, and especially this is a problem, especially when you get into evil alignments, because most people don't follow
evilness because more balance.
Because they specifically want to be evil.
No.
That
they usually believe. Sometimes they believe they're the good guys.
The way I think that the simplest way to define the good evil axis in Dungeons and Dragons, at least the way that it is frequently explained, is that it should actually be the axis of selflessness versus selfishness.
Yes.
That
because well, we'll get into Neverwinter Nights in a bit.
Because the thing is that most people who are evil don't go out of their way to do something for the purpose of being evil. They do it because it is beneficial to them in some way. And what makes it evil is that they don't care if it hurts other people.
Mm-hmm.
So...
yeah.
Therefore, seeing alignment as this grand cosmic struggle, like even the most extreme villains are usually not doing evil for the sake of evil. Yeah.
Unless they're a force of nature villain.
Which, again, this is why, to get into that argument, why I firmly argue that Sauron is not a force of nature villain, because he wasn't doing it for the sake of being evil.
Well, maybe like at the very end, or if, say, another 500 years have gone, maybe his personality would have degenerated to the point.
I mean, we don't really know because we don't get into his psychology in Lord of the Rings.
Overmuch.
But certainly up until the end of the downfall of Numenor, he has a very clear individual psychology and, like, set of goals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't just to be evil.
Mm-hmm. It's to rule the fucking world.
Right. And to a certain extent, there's a sense that it's because he thinks the world will be better off that way.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you know...
That's definitely what Melkor thought, I think.
No, Sauron is actually much more sympathetic than Melkor. Melkor wanted to rule the world because he was jealous of the other Valar and wanted power.
Yeah, that's right.
But even that is not being evil for the sake of being evil.
Definitely, Saruman thought the world would be better if he ruled it.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least he sided with Sauron and then betrayed him later.
Mm-hmm. But the point is that even, like, the most... like, evil, overarching, powerful villains are very, very seldom act for the sake of evilness.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, there's already this giant hole in D&D's alignment system if they're going to portray it as this cosmic struggle of forces. And so then, you know, when I was originally started playing D&D, and I was like, okay... you know, I think this whole cosmic struggle of forces thing sounds kind of lame, and that's not really something that speaks to me, so I don't really want my character to be involved in that.
Yeah.
So I want my character to be
neutral.
Yeah, who just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like...
although, gives a shit enough to not, like, go around hurting people. Either neutral or neutral evil, maybe.
Yeah, but so I was like, oh, I'm going to play a character who's true neutral, because I don't... you know, my character doesn't... I want to play a character who doesn't believe that, you know, that having extreme alignments is going to do anything other than, like, the actual effect it has. Like, you know, my character doesn't want the world to become evil just because that would fuck them over, not because the world is going to go out of balance.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to play true neutral. And they're like, no, you can't do that because the true neutral person has to switch sides every time somebody wins.
Yeah.
Because instead of their...
the fucking chaotic neutral and lawful neutral don't do that.
Yes. Like...
I mean, can't even if you're doing the whole stupid balance thing, can't you say... oh, my character's acting for the greater balance, and I was about to say greater good, because this big evil thing is going to put everything out of balance.
Well, right, that's how they usually tell you how to handle, like, true neutral characters. But yeah, so in other rather than being able
Oh, and of course, if you wanted to play a druid, you can only be true neutral.
Yeah, which to me...
I do like it how Pathfinder kind of fixed that. Well, I don't think it was Pathfinder. I think it was 3rd edition. By saying a druid had to be some sort of neutral. It couldn't be It couldn't be like... Yeah, it'd have to be like, you know, neutral good, lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, or neutral evil.
I mean, to me...
Oh my god, that kitty's so adorable.
In a way, like, for me, the not giving a shit thing actually would make sense for a druid being true neutral, because they don't care if the society is good or evil or chaotic. They only care about nature. So, but the thing is that if I was playing a druid and I was going to defend nature, and a bunch of, like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
would say nature's very...
goblins came in and were, like, burning shit,
Yeah.
and then, like, they're about to be defeated by the good guys, I wouldn't turn around and side with the goblins
just like, well,
because
these goblins are losing. Just let them burn the forest.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, they're burning shit, and druids don't like people who do that.
Yeah, I would say nature is generally more chaotic neutral. Why couldn't druids be chaotic neutral in, yeah.
Like...
Second
Yeah, so instead of, like, true neutral being, I don't give a fuck about this law and chaos stuff, or whatever, I don't give a fuck about these cosmic forces, instead it was like, you're ultra paranoid about it to the point that you do bizarrely stupid things, like side with the evil people who are burning down your forest just because they're about to be defeated. And there was, so they've changed it. They now have unaligned, which means you don't have an alignment like preference or something. At least in Pathfinder they do, and probably in 3rd edition. But in 2nd edition there was literally no option for you to just not care, which was
despite the fact
stupid.
that animals and NPCs could still be neutral.
Yeah. Like, animals were true neutral to represent that they didn't care.
Commoners were true neutral. They didn't go around. It's just like, oh god, all these normal people in this town. We got to move them out when the goblins invade.
Yeah.
It's just like, zzz. I just imagine all these like soldiers that have some kind of switch activated every time they win. It's just like, and all the orcs going, yes, we have to make it look like we're losing.
So fucking stupid. So I would say true neutral is the worst offender, and chaotic neutral is probably the 2nd worst offender.
Yeah. Another thing they fixed in 3rd edition / Pathfinder.
Well, they just fixed it by having a greater range of alignment options. So I think maybe what we should do here... maybe we should read the descriptions of alignment from the 2nd edition, like, Players Handbook, because it's...
Maybe we'll do that near the end.
Yeah, it's so fucking hilarious. Like...
Yeah.
But, so essentially the way 2nd edition defines chaotic neutral is you're just a raving lunatic.
Yes! My god.
I will say that there was one person that when I was growing up in my D&D group that I required to play chaotic neutral because he could not convincingly play any other alignment. Like, he would give his characters other alignments, and then we start partway through the first session. I'd be like, no, you're
chaotic neutral.
You're chaotic neutral. That's just how you act. And finally, I was just like, look, let's stop this pretense. Just make all your characters chaotic neutral because you can't do anything else. And that was using the raving lunatic definition, because he played all of his characters as if they were raving lunatics. But if you define neutral as don't give a shit, then that means I don't like following rules, and I don't care if that harms people or not.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going to go out of my way to harm people.
But, like, yeah, my highest
kind of like
priority...
Quara from...
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but... And I was thinking, why does being chaotic neutral require you to be an asshole?
Well, it doesn't, but Quara is.
Yes.
I mean, Sam's an
Wait.
arsehole.
Because I got this idea earlier today, and I was like, oh, I have to ask Fortius about this. Is the idea that by the end of Neverwinter Nights, we are going to have one character in our party from each alignment?
I always thought that, no. We never have a lawful evil guy.
Oh.
And we have a bunch of neutral good people.
So we have a chaotic evil person?
Yeah, Bishop.
Wow. Yeah, I hate Bishop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Though
so
actually, Bishop is an interesting person to talk about, though.
This is just for full disclosure, we are currently playing Neverwinter Nights 2, and our annoyance over the way that game handled alignment is what kind of prompted us to have this podcast.
You keep your word, you are now lawful. If you keep going this way, you won't be able to be a barbarian anymore.
Yeah, so we're playing a barbarian because that's the kind of character that I like.
Not the kind of character I like, but
yes, well,
whatever.
And the problem is that it's constantly like, oh, this decision has shifted you towards lawful. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. But it's like decisions like not breaking a promise. Like, I always saw lawful as, or chaotic as resisting order imposed on you from outside. It had nothing to do with you following your own moral compass, especially if you're a chaotic good character, which is the alignment that we're trying to play. That you don't go around...
I think we're neutral good, but...
Well,
that's the thing. That's why it's so damaging when we get shifted towards lawful, because we're so close to lawful.
The point is that
already.
If you're playing a good character, you would not want to do things like lying to people and breaking promises and stuff because you're doing harm. It has nothing to do with how you feel about structure or anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that the game thinks that, like... basically having any kind of preset standards is lawful.
Yeah.
Is really, really fucking annoying.
Well, that is annoying. I will say, the way Neverwinter Nights plays around with alignments of all the NPCs is very interesting.
I guess, to a certain extent,
because Nishka is true neutral.
Yes, well...
And, let me see. Gromnar is chaotic good.
Gromnar is annoying. Okay, that's what Gromnar is. Is this fucking gnome with the most annoying voice, and he never shuts up. So, since he's obviously gay, we just need to find a character to just put a cock in his mouth and just leave it there. Permanently.
He's not obviously gay just because he has a voice like that.
Okay. But he obviously wants people to think he's gay. Sand is fairly clearly gay as well. So.
Oh my god! Stop stereotyping people.
It's just. Okay.
No, Sand is just pretentious.
He's very mincingly pretentious.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're gay.
No, you're right, it doesn't, but... And just for the record, I have nothing against gay people as long as they don't act that way.
Yeah. No, what you have a problem with is, you just don't like the gay...
Stereotype, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all I know, Kelgar has sex with other hairy dwarves, and that's totally fine.
Well, no, he talks about dwarven wenches all the time.
I must have missed that, but...
Oh, remember comely dwarven wenches?
Yeah, those are just his beards.
Okay.
I made a pun, haha, dwarf beards.
What?
Okay, so when, a person who's gay, gets with a woman, to hide the fact that he's gay, she's the beard. And since, there's
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Okay, when somebody who is gay goes and has a relationship with a woman or gets married or something to pretend that they're not gay, so that people be like, "Oh, well he's married, he can't possibly be gay."
Uh-huh.
The woman that he's married to is referred to as the beard.
Why?
I don't know why.
What the fuck is that? The beard.
It's just a slang term. You've never heard it before?
No, it's so fucking weird.
Okay, but anyway, so just accept that it's a slang term, okay? That means that. And it's very funny if we're referring to Kelgar because he's a dwarf, and first of all, there's all this stuff about dwarves and beards, but then there's also a lot of,
Well,
fantasy...
the joke's a failure because you had to explain it.
Shut up. Where
So Kelgar would say.
dwarven women, people are like, oh, there's no dwarven women and stuff. Because they're like, oh, they don't realize they're dwarven women because they look so much like male dwarves. And so frequently the question is, well, do dwarven women have beards?
Uh-huh.
So saying that Kelgar is gay and he's talking about dwarven women as beards is funny. Okay? You had to ruin my joke. I'm sure some viewers got the joke.
Yeah,
and it was
yes,
funny.
I'm sure. I'm just too foreign.
You're kind of British.
I'm foreign.
So, yeah, I kind of do appreciate the fact that they try to show a range of alignments, but, yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
Well, I've always had the theory that, Duncan is actually our lawful evil party member.
He was supposed to be, but he can't actually join the party.
Well, no, he's not that he was supposed to be. He's because when we go through Bishop's full backstory, we're probably not going to actually get this in game because you need to build up
approval.
Yes, with him,
and
that of course
fucking
involves being an asshole.
Yes.
Yeah, because that involves being an asshole. So he reveals
Duncan is the guy at the inn, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Who you've told me is not nice.
Yeah, because he basically Bishop was trying to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right after he'd done something really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But he realized, this is just kind of wrong, so I'm just gonna kill everyone here that's involved. And just kind of kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then Duncan finds him, rescues him, and says, oh, you owe me now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and... Yeah.
That, to a certain extent... that's not precisely lawful evil, because unless there's actually a law that says, he does owe you now. His thing about property damage, that's very lawful evil.
Yeah. He basically... Well, no, because... Okay, the thing that Bishop did is... Bishop was going to be accepted into this, Luskan assassination squad.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do it, he had to, murder this village.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did is, he burned the village, killed everyone, but then set the fire so that it burned also his Luskan supervisors, and set it up so that it would kill him as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how that's relevant to Duncan's alignment, but...
But, yeah, basically he caught him in an act, and if Duncan had reported him, he would have been...
Right.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying, oh, you owe me for saving your life.
No, he owed him because otherwise he'd tell.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a great thought. We should say what alignment we think various characters in Dragon Age are.
Oh, okay, Alistar.
Is definitely lawful good.
No, I'd say he's neutral good.
Really?
He's not that lawful. He's much more good.
He's very hard line about a lot of stuff.
He doesn't seem that... He's hard-lined about stuff, but... He doesn't seem that concerned about following the law.
Well, but he is very concerned about following the code of the Grey Wardens, which is his law.
Yeah.
That isn't an internal moral structure that he's created. It's an external system that he's into following.
Okay.
And I would say Liliana is definitely chaotic good.
Yeah. And Win is chaotic or neutral good. I would say neutral.
Yeah, Win is neutral good.
No, yeah, Win is somewhat concerned with following laws, but sometimes, yeah, she's neutral good.
Mm-hmm.
Morrigan? Chaotic neutral.
Yeah. And
She actually kind of reminds me of Quara now that I think about it.
yes. She kind of reminds me of Bishop, though, too.
Yeah, but... she is selfish, but she never seems to go out of her way to, like, be a...
No, she really does. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that I mean, Bishop hasn't been that annoying yet. The thing that really pissed me off about Morrigan is she would get pissed off at you for, like, helping people or being nice to people, even when it didn't affect her.
Yeah.
She's almost, in some ways, I felt she was almost cartoonishly evil in some situations.
Yeah, in some situations, which kind of, like, undermines her, like, later, depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
I never got to that because I was so pissed off about her being cartoonishly evil that I never put her in my party after that. I would say
Ogram. He's almost chaotic neutral as well. No, maybe neutral.
Maybe.
Zevran.
I would say he's true neutral.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe even chaotic because he kind of fled the order.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, who else is in the party?
Sten.
He is lawful neutral.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sten is definitely
maybe
lawful
even
neutral.
a little bit of lawful good, because I remember he feels very deep regret over killing the family that he did. So, lawful neutral on the side of good.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would even... Yeah.
No, I would definitely classify him as lawful neutral because he feels that following the Kun is
paramount. Yes,
is far more important than
yes. But yeah, he definitely has certain morals outside the Kun though.
Mm-hmm.
Shale, chaotic neutral.
We're identifying a lot of people as chaotic neutral.
Well, what else would Shale be?
I don't know. I mean, I think Shale might be at least semi-good aligned, because Shale doesn't really seem to want to harm anyone except pigeons.
I don't know. Shale said he wanted to kill the entire village, remember?
Wasn't that initially when he was, like, kind of, like, crazed from being...
No, he still wanted to, even after he says, oh my god, I wish I'd killed them all.
Okay, never mind. I really don't. I think that Morrigan would have to be more like chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Because,
compared to Shale,
yeah. If we're looking at... I can see, even though they're different, I can see Shale and Ogram being, like, chaotic neutral. But Morrigan is extremely different from that.
Yeah, I would definitely say Ogram's more true neutral, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a disgraced warrior because he drinks all the time, but he doesn't seem to actively hate order.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Shale just wants to do whatever he wants and feels superior. Let's skip over the Dragon Age Awakening ones because you never played that.
Yeah, I didn't. And I don't know, you never finished that Let's Play, so I don't know that much about the characters in Dragon Age 2, but...
I don't know much about the characters in Dragon Age 2 either. They're so underdeveloped. Inquisition.
Yes, this is the fun one.
Yeah, let's do the three, map room people.
Well,
Cullen.
He is...
lawful good.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking about his thing about not taking lyrium.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
That's all about discipline.
Yes, but it's an extremely personal discipline. It's not something that the Templars ordered him to do. As a matter of fact, the Templars might actively oppose that, because aren't Templars supposed to take lyrium?
Well, he's an ex-Templar, remember?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess he's still mostly lawful good, but that thing does kind of, like, bring it into question, because his personal system of values does seem like it takes precedence over an outside.
Okay, Liliana.
Is
Still chaotic.
Still chaotic good.
Josephine.
I would also classify her as chaotic good.
Really? I think much
Maybe-
more... Because she's all about politics and...
Maybe neutral good?
She's all about politics and diplomacy, so I'd say neutral good.
Yeah.
Okay. Party members. Iron Bull.
Chaotic good?
He's kind of weird. He's a complicated character.
Well, because he's a Kunari, so...
And he follows the Kun.
He does, but then he's taken a role in the Kun that allows him to behave in a very chaotic way.
Yes.
See, that's the thing that's so tricky about it.
Yeah, like I said, very complicated character.
I would classify Cole as lawful good, actually.
Lawful good?
Yeah, because he wants to fit in and he wants to follow the rules.
Yes, and he definitely tries to follow it. Yes, that's definitely what he wants to try to do.
I mean, like the fact that he agrees to submit to a binding in order to make people feel safe is very.
Who's the Templar woman, the Seeker woman?
Cassandra. Neutral good?
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, she is very regimented, being like an ex-Templar, and she creates this new order, but she did sort of rebel against.
Kind of, yeah. Fat dwarf guy with no beard.
He needs a beard.
Why does he need a beard?
Yeah. I meant the other kind of beard.
Yeah, the crossbow guy. I remember the name of his
Varric.
crossbow. Yeah, Bianca. I was just like, the guy with Bianca.
Chaotic good?
Yeah, I would say he's good.
Yeah, I would find... yeah, that sounds like... Vivian
Yeah,
is...
Vivian is lawful evil. Well, maybe even lawful neutral.
She's lawful neutral. I say definitely lawful neutral.
Yeah, she does. She's very self-centered, but
I mean, but she truly thinks that the circles help the mages.
yes.
Like, she's not like, oh, well, they benefit me, so...
Yeah, she definitely thinks that the circles, yeah.
We apologize for everybody who hasn't played Dragon Age. Like, we're totally spoiling this for you, or you have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
We really like Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, except for the fake hawk and Blackwall.
Oh yeah, Blackwall. What alignment is Blackwall?
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good? I would almost say lawful good, because that's what he tries to be.
Yeah, but I mean, he obviously, like...
Who is the person that Blackwall tries to be?
He is the alignment of cock blocking.
Of Blackwalling.
Yes. We have decided now to rename... Well, actually, no, it's not technically the same thing as cock blocking. It is when someone is in a relationship with you and won't let you be in a relationship with anybody else, but won't let you break up with them.
Yeah.
Is
We had this odd bug where we could not break up with Blackwall.
It was so annoying.
And we had to go through his whole stupid quest thing, and it basically ruined all of our chances romancing.
Yeah, we couldn't get into a relationship with anybody else because...
We had to settle with Cullen in the end.
Well, yeah, he was the backup for our backup.
He was the backup for our backup for our backup.
Yeah.
He was our fourth backup.
Yes.
Let me see. First we wanted Iron Bull, then we wanted Sarah.
Oh yeah, what alignment is she?
Chaotic neutral.
Yes, definitely. And then Josephine, we actually could have gotten in a relationship with Josephine, But we
lost our chance because
we turned her down because we were like, oh, we want to see if we can get with Iron Bull or Sarah. And then we couldn't because we couldn't get enough approval with them because we couldn't have the correct interactions because we'd been blackwalled for so fucking long.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then the other guy who we totally didn't want to be in a relationship with.
Sora and Soran?
Solas. What alignment is he?
Pretentious.
Yeah, exactly. True neutral? Neutral evil? He's definitely neutral, but I'm not sure. I mean, I would say
almost maybe even chaotic, given that he's supposed to be the Dread Wolf or whatever.
Well, okay. Yeah, I would say he's true neutral, setting aside that weird, stupid twist at the end, which I don't know what the fuck to make out of.
We haven't played any of the DLC where he, comes back or whatever.
But just based on his behavior in that, I would say he's true neutral.
Yeah. Was there any other party members?
I don't think...
Oh, Dorian.
Oh, Dorian. Chaotic good.
Neutral good.
Yeah, because he's kind of politicky too.
Yeah. He wants to restore the Empire to greatness.
That's true. But he comes off as very chaotic good because
he definitely sees the problems within the Empire.
Because he's so anti current society of that place he's from, whose name I don't remember.
The Tevinter Imperium.
Tevinter, yeah. He's definitely extremely anti-current Tevinter society, so therefore he seems chaotic, but I think he's not totally chaotic because he is not I want to totally dismantle their society, but I want to make it better.
Yeah. Let me see. Did we get all 3 mages, all 3 fighters, and all 3 rogues? So yeah, we got all 3 rogues, got all 3 mages.
Yeah, we got all 3 fighters.
Iron Bull, Cassandra, and Blackwall. Yes.
Alright, so you want to look at that thing in the Players Handbook now?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you have anything else you want to discuss?
Just more stuff about maybe Neverwinter Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Quara, she's a complete asshole. Kelgar Iron Fist. I mean, what do you think about him?
He's kind of... So, the thing that I think is really great, and this is why I wanted to do this podcast, about alignments and the way they're handled in Neverwinter Nights 2, is that it's really made me understand which alignments I do and do not like.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, people's personalities. I like a lot of things about Kelgar, and I can tolerate Kelgar. He's not my least favorite person in the party, for sure.
He just does some slightly annoying things.
But his lawfulness, his extreme lawfulness...
He's neutral good.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Really? Who's the lawful good person, then?
Cassavir.
Oh.
Though, I think it's kind of...
Strange that Cassavir is less constantly fucking moralizing than Kelgar, then.
Oh? I think definitely, he definitely strays on the side of lawful. I mean, he's becoming a monk.
Yeah.
No,
but I mean, his rigidity and his extreme prejudice. That's another thing that really annoys me. Even though in Nishka's case it's justified, but yeah.
Whatever.
But he does get very annoying. Okay, I completely understand why to not like Nishka. I do not like Nishka, but that doesn't justify being a dick about it.
Yeah.
Which is the problem with Kelgar, is he's a fucking dick about it.
Yeah. And Elodie's also neutral good.
Mm-hmm. Because this was after the druids must be true neutral.
Yeah.
Because they have to side with the people who are burning down their groves just because.
Yeah. And Grobnar, what's his name?
Who? Which guy?
Grobnar Gnome Hands. Is it Gromnar?
Yes.
He's chaotic good. So he's like you.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. You know, it's a straitjacket. You're like Gromnar.
Well, then I would just, like, murder him, and then he would not be like me anymore. Actually, he would probably become more like me at that point, because he would be quiet.
Okay, there's the neutral evil character, who I think is one of the best characters in the entire game.
I thought that that character was Bishop.
No, he's chaotic evil.
But wasn't he, like, the alternate romance option?
Yes. He's in...
Oh, God! Just that fucking sexist shit he said when we were playing last night. Like, oh my God.
Oh, yes, you'll be paying me back all the way to Neverwinter. Yeah, he's a sexist pig. At least to people he doesn't respect.
See, but that's but the thing is that it's important to recognize that that isn't the only way that a chaotic evil character would manifest. And again, this
Bishop is definitely like if people who fight to defend themselves, the people who fight to live are the people who deserve to live.
So this is the thing. I feel that Bishop, at least so far, makes a much better chaotic evil character than Morrigan does.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time he gets pissy about you doing a good act, at least so far, there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, we're wasting time here.
Well, I mean, I guess Morrigan kind of says that, but, like, we're not in, like, any huge hurry with that.
Yeah.
Like, at least Morgan's not. Like, the rest of the party is kind of on the run from the law, but I mean, in the thing in Neverwinter Nights, we're actually tracking these people.
Yeah.
Or, like, when we, like, make plans in a battle to help people and it's going to put him in danger or something. He's like, oh, this is stupid. You know, but it's clearly, like, his things are clearly motivated by self-interest, that it's going to interfere with his goals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the thing that really, really turned me off to Morrigan is at this point where you want to help some farmer, like, unload his cart or something.
Yeah.
And you're not asking her to help. You're just volunteering to help. And she gets really pissed at you and says you're a horrible, stupid person because you're helping somebody out and not getting anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that, which is why I feel like the good-evil axis should be more like the selfishness versus selflessness axis.
Mm-hmm.
Because that action, like, that totally made no sense to me because there's no self-interest in it. It's not
It's just being a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That it's like doing evil just to be a jerk, basically.
Yeah. Let me see. There's Sand, who is lawful neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've been able to see that even with the short conversations we had
Yes.
with him.
And again, in different ways than Kelgar, Sand is very annoying, but he's tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
Though, like I said, if he makes many more peasant comments, he's going to move past being tolerable and become intolerable. But
yeah.
But yeah, at the current point, I strongly dislike him, but he's tolerable.
And then there's Quara, as we mentioned, who is...
Again, I dislike her, but she's tolerable. Basically because she's a fucking asshole.
Oh, that's why she's tolerable?
No, that's why I don't like her. I mean, the thing is that in a lot of ways I find her personality very likable because the chaotic aspect of her personality appeals to me, that she's like this...
Nobody will, tell me what to do.
Yeah, that she's this downtrodden person that wasn't accepted by the society she was in, and she's rebelling against it. Which is something that I can totally identify with, and I find very sympathetic. But, the thing is that her response is totally out of proportion, and she expresses it the most asshole-ish way possible.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, and there's what's her name that's just joined our party?
Shauna?
Chandra, yes.
I have no idea what... She seems kind of like not personality.
She's neutral good.
Yeah.
Not personality.
I don't know. I mean, I was going to say she's definitely some kind of good alignment, but I couldn't really tell where she falls on the law and chaos spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the thing, like, I think even though I dislike him, I think Bishop has a good character design because it's an example of having a chaotic evil character that's not like, mwahaha evil.
Yeah. He's just very self-interested all the time.
Right.
And a lot of the thing about Bishop's character is he just kind of wants to be left alone to do what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, so why did he join our party in the first place? Basically,
Oh yeah, because he said, "Oh, I'm having so much fun."
No, I mean, why was he with us in the first place? Because Duncan blackmailed him?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he owed him, and he was calling in a debt.
Yeah.
And we find out at the end of the game, if we built up good stuff with Bishop, that it's this whole thing where Duncan basically blackmailed him.
Yeah.
And that causes him to do stuff later in the game.
Hopefully Duncan has not also black-walled him.
Yeah, that would get him really pissed. It's just like, Duncan, we have to end the relationship status. No.
If you do that, I'm telling them what you did.
Yeah.
Oh god, when we finally got to break up with Blackwell, we were so happy, like, at the end, after he does it. Sorry, everybody, spoilers. But it turns out that Blackwell, like, killed a bunch of people. And he goes and, like, kind of turns himself in, and we, like, save his life because we're kind of forced to.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, he's like, I'm leaving, forget about me, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, and we leave, and then we go and talk to our party members, and it's like, flirt with Iron Bull or something, and we're like, yes, and then he's like, wait, aren't you in a relationship with Blackwall? And we're like, no, he left! And so then, like, somehow the game forces you to go and save him, and then he comes back, and you're like in your like Inquisitor's chair, and he's on trial, and he's like,
oh, I know you can never forgive me. And it's just like, yes, we can't.
He's like, oh, I hope it won't change how you feel about me, and we're like, about that, Blackwall.
Yeah. I never loved you. And then after that, he doesn't get the message.
Yes.
It's just like, we are not interested.
We were never interested. You just, like...
We thought it was going to be like Dragon Age Origins, where you can have relationships with multiple people, and then they get pissed, and that's kind of cool.
And then you can, like, break it off with somebody when it's, like, whenever.
Yeah, but...
Like, not that it just won't give you a conversation option that's like... I don't like you.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with it.
I really liked how organic it was in Dragon Age Origins.
Yes.
When people, like, you're sleeping with everybody else?
You're out of frame. You need to come closer.
Hello.
Farnius is a jerk.
So yeah, the D&D thing, 2nd edition.
Oh yes. The 2nd edition doing it. Ooh, my toe. I don't want to catch that.
It's like lagging or something. Yeah. Ah! See? I knew she'd get my hat eventually.
It's only because I was getting up to do something else. Oh, this still has all the, like, papers in it from when we were playing Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh yeah, we should do that again.
See, like, here's the map of one of the places that we were in.
We should do that again.
That's a ton of work. Oh yeah, and here's the map of the basement that you had to explore that has the Iron Maiden in it.
Yeah.
He got really angry because I was designing
But I looked it up, and apparently the Iron Maiden did exist. It just wasn't a medieval torture device.
Alright, so why Why does it smell like cat poop?
Does smell like cat poop. What did you kitties do?
Alright. So yeah, here's the thing about
neutrality and evil.
Oops, where is it? Alright, here we go.
Well, here are all the things.
Yeah, but that's not what I want. Okay, so here's the section where it gives examples of characters playing alignment. Imagine how groups of different players might seek to divide a treasure trove. Suppose the adventuring party contains one character of each alignment, a virtually impossible situation but universal but useful for illustration. Each is then allowed to present his argument. The lawful good character says, "Before we went on this adventure, we agreed to split the treasure equally, and that's what we're going to do. First, we'll deduct the cost of the adventure and pay for the resurrection of those who have fallen. Since we're sharing all this equally, if someone can't be raised, then his share goes to his family." Since we agreed to split this equally, that's fine, replies the lawful evil character thoughtfully. There was nothing in this deal about paying for anyone else's expenses. It's not my fault if you spent a lot on equipment. Furthermore, this deal applies only to surviving partners. I don't remember anything about dead partners. I'm not setting aside any money to raise that klutz. He's someone else's problem. Flourishing a sheet of paper, the lawful neutral character breaks it. It's a good thing for you to have got things together nice and organized. I had the foresight to write down the exact terms of our agreement. We're all going to follow them. The neutral good character balances the issues and decides, I'm in favor of equal shares. That keeps everybody happy. I feel that expenses are each adventurer's own business. If someone spent too much, then he should be more careful next time. But raising fallen comrades seems like a good idea, so I say we set aside money to do that. After listening to the above arguments, the true neutral character decides not to say anything yet. He's not particularly concerned with any choice. If the issue can be solved without us becoming involved, great. If it looks like one person is going to get everything, that's when he'll step in and cast his vote for a more balanced distribution. Now see, that sounds like how I would play a true neutral character. Like, he doesn't really care, but if it looks like one person's going to get everything, then it's like, okay. You know, he's like, this is not really, I don't really care if this is fair as long as it's not, like, really stupid.
Yeah. But
when we get later, they'll show the true colors of true neutral, if you will. The neutral evil character died during the adventure, so he doesn't have anything to say. However, if he could
say neutral evil is one of my favorite alignments.
If he could make his opinion known, he would gladly argue that the group ought to pay for raising him and set aside a share for him. Of course he would. That has nothing to do with him being neutral evil. It has to do with him being dead. The neutral evil character would also hope that the group doesn't discover the big gem he secretly pocketed during one of their encounters.
That sounds more chaotic.
Yes. The chaotic good character objects to the whole business. Look, it's obvious that the original agreement is messed up. I say we scrap it and reward people for what they did. I saw some of you hiding in the background where the rest of us were doing all the real fighting. I don't see what anyone should be rewarded for being a coward. As far as raising dead partners, I'd say that's a matter of personal choice. I don't mind chipping in for some of them, but I don't think I want everyone back in the group. That doesn't sound like a very good statement.
I don't want the evil guys back.
Well, okay, so not allowing them back in the group is fine, but like saying, I'm fine with leaving these people dead, even though I could very easily have them brought back to life, that does not sound like a good action.
Yeah. Especially when they undeniably helped you. They died, like, helping you.
Okay, well, they didn't. We'll get to that, but...
Well, how did the neutral evil guy die again?
I don't remember exactly, but we'll see. Outraged at the totally true but tactless accusation of cowardice, the chaotic evil character snaps back. Look, I was doing an important job, guarding the rear. Could I help it if nobody tried to sneak up behind us? Now, it seems to me that all of you are pretty beat up, and I'm not. So I don't think there's going to be too much objection if I take all the jewelry and that wand. And I'll take anything interesting that those two dead guys have. Now, you can either work with me and do what I say or get lost permanently. The chaotic neutral character is dead after you tried to charge a Gorgon, so he doesn't contribute to the argument. However, if he were alive, he would join forces with whichever side appealed to him the most at the moment. If he couldn't decide, he'd flip a coin.
That's just.
Yeah, this is like the thing. Chaotic neutral equals nutter.
Or just kind of like the true neutral, but just random.
Yeah. So then, further on, it describes the scenario where they obtained this treasure that they're arguing over how to define.
I mean, how would you define Conan? I would say he's chaotic neutral.
Maybe. He's chaotic neutral with leanings towards chaotic good, because he does have some form of moral compass.
Yeah,
but he's also able to set it aside sometimes if it's
money.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's robbing evil people. Like,
what about that temple? He doesn't necessarily know they're evil. He thinks any law is evil.
He thinks civilization is decadent and therefore corrupt.
Yeah, so I would say that's neutrality.
Which is more about him being chaotic, but yeah, because it's not truly.
It's a convenient justification. It's just like, well, it's okay to steal from people who are in society.
Yes.
Now give me all your money.
He also kills people at very small provocation.
Yeah.
Like in the story we're reading some Conan stuff, and we just started reading the Elephant Tower. And in the first scene, this dude insults him, and Conan gets pissed off, so people get scared and knock over the lamp, so it gets all dark. And they wake up when they turn the lights back on. He's just dead, and Conan's left. So it's I would think a chaotic good character might beat up the guy in the dark or something, but not straight up kill him.
Like I said, chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
But he's not quite an asshole like
Yeah.
Clara. He's an example of how you can be chaotic neutral without being an asshole.
But yeah, he is definitely very strongly chaotic.
Unless you count his sexism and racism, but that's more of the book. That's not him.
Yeah, that's the author.
Yeah.
Okay, he does do a lot of sexist and racist things. Okay,
yeah.
There's no denying that, but
yeah,
so yeah,
it's still good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nothing.
Upon penetrating the heart of the ruined castle, the party met its foe, a powerful Gorgon commanded by a mad warrior. There, chained behind the two, was a helpless peasant kidnapped from a nearby village. The lawful good character unhesitatingly, but not foolishly, entered the battle. It was the right thing to do. He considered his duty to protect the village. That doesn't necessarily make him lawful, as long as it's a personal moral thing that makes him want to do it, as opposed
Well, if he does it out of duty, then it is. I do this because it's my duty.
Well, yeah, but if it's a personal duty as opposed to a duty to an external power, then I would argue that that's not inherently lawful.
If it's because he promised to them personally, that wouldn't necessarily be lawful.
No, but if he's the member of a guard or something, and it's I took an oath to protect this village, blah.
No, it could be it's his duty to protect the weak, and that could be a knightly order type thing.
Yeah, but if he's just a random dude, and considers it his duty to protect the weak, I don't think that that's lawful per se.
I would say that that's fairly lawful. If he's just a normal person. Especially if he was neutral and not good.
See, okay, if he was new, but if you're chaotic good, I would say I consider it my duty to protect the weak. Okay, the deserving weak in that case.
Yes.
But it's I would see a chaotic good person being like, it's my duty to save an innocent peasant because, like, he's a fucking innocent peasant.
Well, yeah.
Like, and that's the
I
good
would say
side of
the
the character.
innocent until proven guilty is more towards the lawful side, though. If he was, like, truly chaotic good, he'd be like, okay, I'm gonna give you a quiz if you're evil or not.
Well, maybe he would rescue him and then administer the quiz. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, fill out the quiz and you better get it right.
Besides, he could not abandon an innocent hostage to such fiends. He was willing to willing to fight until he won.
It's a Gorgon. Oh, such
I think
fiend.
they are inherently evil in second edition. But
Inherently evil.
or was dragged off by his friends. He had no intention of fighting to his own death, but he would not give up until he had tried his utmost to defeat the evil creatures. The lawful evil character also entered the battle willingly. Although he cared nothing for the peasant, he could not allow the two fiends to mock him. That doesn't sound like lawful evil.
Yeah, that sounds chaotic. That
Yeah.
sounds very chaotic.
Yeah, that's definitely...
The lawful evil should all be about self-control.
Yeah, it should be about self-interest, like... You know, oh, he willingly entered the battle because he knew there was a huge reward on the line.
Or he knew that he could appear a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And get in good with, like, the village leader or something.
Right. Still, there was no reason to risk all
There should be, especially lawful evil characters, there should be more lawful evil characters trying to look good.
Yeah.
Neutral evil characters probably don't care about that as much.
But, I mean, they'd still be, like, willing to do it for advantage if the advantage was
Yeah.
big enough. But, like...
So, I really want to talk about the neutral evil character. I'm going to try hard not to spoil it, but just by giving him his name is enough to spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, he's this character.
So, in other words, it's somebody I've already met in Neverwinter Nights.
Kind of. But, yeah, you have.
Okay.
So he's basically this person who, well, so you already know that the King of Shadows is the big bad threat of the game.
Yes.
He's basically will do anything to stop the King of Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything at all.
He's that blue... No, we killed the blue dude.
Yeah, no, he'll do absolutely anything. He'll go to any lengths to stop the King of Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to the point where he basically doesn't even care if the small people get, like, hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it doesn't matter what we do, we have to stop the King of Shadows.
Right.
And that's neutral evil. Because he is evil. Because he just does not care.
Right.
He will do anything to do his goal. It just so happens that his goal is altruistic the right word?
Yeah, but maybe it's not altruistic, like...
No, for him it is. It's completely, we have to do this to save the world.
I don't know if I would totally make him evil then. I don't know.
He isn't totally evil, but he's definitely on the... Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, now I'm vaguely intrigued, but...
Yeah, you should be. He's one of the best characters in the game.
Still, there was no reason for him to risk all for one peasant. If forced to retreat, he could return with a stronger force, capture the criminals, and execute them publicly.
The Gorgon, it's just like... It's got this little, like, tiny...
And then it uses its breath weapon on
Well,
everyone.
that's why, yeah, but it's just like, execute the thing, blur.
If the peasant died in the meantime, their punishment would be that much more horrible. The lawful neutral character was willing to fight because the villains threatened public order. However, he was not willing to risk his own life. If he would
Why not? Why wouldn't maybe a lawful neutral person is willing to risk their own life for the sake of public order. Maybe they believe in it that much.
Yeah. He would have preferred to come back later with reinforcements. If the peasant could be saved, that was good because he is part of the community. If not, it would be unfortunate but unavoidable. The neutral good character did not fight the Gorgon or the warrior, but he tried to rescue the peasant.
I thought that would be more of a chaotic good thing to do.
Yeah. Saving the peasant was worthwhile, but there was no need to risk injury and death along the way. Thus, while the enemy was distracted in combat, he tried to slip past and free the peasant. Yeah, that seems much more like what a chaotic good character would do.
Yeah.
The true neutral character weighed the situation carefully. Although it looked like the forces working for order would have the upper hand in the battle, he knew that there had been a general trend towards chaos and destruction in the region that must be combated. He tried to help, but if the group failed, he could work to restore the balance of law and chaos elsewhere in the region. The neutral evil character cared nothing about law, order, or the poor peasant. He figured there had to be some treasure around somewhere. After all, the villain's lair had once been a powerful temple. He could poke around for cash while the others did the real work. If the group got into real trouble and it looked like the villains would attack him, then he would fight. Unfortunately, a stray magical arrow killed him after he found a large gem. The chaotic good character joined the fight for several reasons. Several people in the group were his friends, and he wanted to fight at their sides. Furthermore, the poor kidnapped peasant deserved to be rescued. Thus the chaotic good character fought to aid his companions and save the peasant.
Ugh. That's something in my eye.
He didn't care if the villains were killed, captured, or just driven away. Their attacks against the village didn't concern him. That actually doesn't sound like chaotic good. It's like, well, if you think the villagers are worth saving enough that you're going to try to rescue the peasant, then I think you would care if the villagers were still being attacked.
Yeah.
I mean, saying he didn't care if the villains were killed, captured, or driven away is chaotic good. Like, he doesn't have this sense that they need to be brought to justice. They just need to be stopped from harming people.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean their attacks against the village don't concern him. It just means that however those attacks are stopped is fine with him. He just doesn't need to kill them.
Yeah.
The chaotic neutral character decided to charge, screaming bloodthirsty cries straight for the Gorgon. Who knows? He might have broken its nerve and thrown it off guard. He discovered that his plan was a bad one when the Gorgon's breath killed him. The chaotic evil character saw no point in risking his hide for the villagers, the peasant, or the rest of the party. In fact, he thought of several good reasons not to. If the party was weakened, he might be able to take over. If the villains won, he could probably make a deal with them and join their side. If everyone was killed, he could take everything he wanted and leave. All that sounded a lot better than getting hurt for little or no gain, so he decided to stay near the back of the battle watching. If anyone asked, he could say he was watching the rear to make sure no one came to aid the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, even with the official alignment thing, we disagree with a lot of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, remember everyone, alignment is a tool, not a straitjacket.
Yeah.
So if somebody says that chaotic neutral means that you're raving mad, or that true neutral means that you...
Or that you can't act, or that you can't be a monk or a... you can't be a monk if you're chaotic good.
Yeah. Actually, I have a thing related to that I played.
A monk?
I played a monk of Caden Kalon, which Caden Kalon is a chaotic good god in Pathfinder. He's the god of, like, drinking and merrymaking and whatnot. He's kind of like Bacchus in that way, except he's, like, much less of an ass than Bacchus.
Yeah.
And so, like, bless the DM, she let me play a monk of Caden Kalon, which is kind of counterintuitive because monks are required to be lawful, and
Your character wasn't even that lawful, I think.
no, like, the way we parsed it out is that he didn't want to overthrow society. He wanted to reform society so that the laws would allow people the maximum freedom possible.
Yeah.
Which, was definitely walking a very thin line, but I'm really grateful for the DM that she allowed me to do that, because I know a lot of DMs would just be like, no. But I don't understand why you couldn't be like... I mean, I guess if you were a monk that didn't necessarily belong to a monastic order and it's your personal discipline, like, why can't you be a monk that has a personal discipline but doesn't agree with society?
Yeah. I think it has something to do with the chi, because if you play a martial artist and don't use... Sorry, is it ki? It's ki. If you play a martial artist and don't use ki, you can be of any alignment.
I think that it's actually pronounced chi, because I've seen it also spelled QI. And no, she was not a friend of mine. I had a very much the living definition of the term frenemy in, like, elementary school through high school. Whose name was QI, and it was pronounced Chi. So and she was Chinese. So I think that's actually the correct pronunciation.
Okay.
I don't know when it's spelled KI, like, if that's like an anglicization of it or something. I don't know. But I know in Ghost Stories it's spelled QI, just like her name was. And so I'm guessing that, given that, like, she was actually Chinese, that the pronunciation of her name is the correct pronunciation of that spelling. Yeah, but I don't understand, like...
It also kind of annoys me that you can't really play around with paladin alignments either.
I mean, they do have anti-paladins.
No, but I mean, like, different types of good paladins. I get it. A paladin is, like, this living embodiment of force of good.
No, I mean... Well, so how would you say have, like, a chaotic good paladin?
I don't know. I don't know personally, but I don't like the idea I can't play around with the idea.
Okay, well, this is getting into... because, like I said, my DM was more than willing to let me play a borderline chaotic good character as a monk.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is that I think that if you read, like, the second edition DMG, it makes this very explicit, that it's like, we have certain, like, alignment or, like, race class combinations or whatever, because these are the things that make the most sense and are also the easiest to not slip into being overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to make an exception, you as the dungeon master always have the right to choose to do so. But we're making these rules so that your players don't feel that it's open season and they come up with something you can't control. Like, the rule is that if they want to play something outside of this standardized list, the player has to check in with you.
Yeah.
And I'm A-okay with that, and the thing is that
Pathfinder kind of, like... It's very controlled. Like, there's a rule for everything.
And I don't like that about Pathfinder, but we're kind of straying off, like...
And we're running short on time.
Yeah, we should make a video sometime about, is it better to have an RPG system that's more open or one that has a lot of rules?
Yeah, it depends on the baselines, but yeah.
Right. But I'm saying that's a topic for another time, and that's where we were about to go. So anyway,
okay.
That's alignment, just some of the thoughts that we've been kicking around about it recently.
Okay.
Bye.
Everyone.